Hey, friendos. So, just a warning here. The video for most of this part is going to be messed up because of a mistake I made. Uh, when like something I guess I accidentally did or that happened or something to my OBS window, but that will be fixed for future parts and videos and etc. As much as I can, as much as possible, because sometimes I will probably still um, not really notice such details before I start recording. Um, I hope to never do that again, but we'll see. Um, so yeah, the video is going to be messed up, but well, for these Codex videos, the audio is all that's needed anyway. So I hope y'all understand, and I hope y'all enjoy. Welcome back, frienderinos. It is Codex time once again, friends. Primary. Okay, those are all done.
After the Geth secure a location,
that's been done.
Thresher Maws are subterranean carnivores that spend their entire lives eating or searching for something to eat. Threshers reproduce via spores that can lie dormant for millennia, yet are robust enough to survive prolonged periods in deep space and atmospheric re-entry. As a result, Thresher spores appear on many worlds, spread by previous generations of space travelers. The body of a Thresher never entirely leaves the ground. Only the head and tentacles erupt from the Earth to attack. In addition to physical attacks, Threshers have the ability to project toxic chemicals and emit bursts of infrasound as a shockwave weapon. The Alliance first encountered Threshers on the colony of Akuz in 2177. After contact was lost with the Pioneer team, Marine units were deployed to investigate. The shore parties were set upon by hungry Threshers, and nearly the entire assault force was killed.
Oof.
Alliance forces recommend engaging Threshers with vehicle-mounted heavy weapons.
Which is funny because it's lost footage, but earlier on I actually did a side quest where we found some of Admiral Kohaku's men. We'll be turning that in later. Admiral Kohaku, I do believe, is going to be chilling in the Presidium Citadel Tower when we next pop into the Citadel. I'll be able to unfortunately deliver the not so wondrous news. But reason his unit died was something lured them via a beacon to a Thresher Maw. We don't know what, but it's interesting to speculate about what. I'm guessing it's Geth, just trying to eliminate threat to them, because, you know, they're crazy smart in numbers, as Tally has kind of told us. They might have also been under orders from Saren to do that. That's my guess, anyway. I don't think a Thresher Maw is really smart. It's just big and primal and hungry all the time. And that's unfortunate for pretty much anything, because, yeah, they're big boys, and they're spoopy boys, and they're tough boys, and they hurt. In fact, I'm pretty sure we fight several Thresher Maws in side quests throughout the game, and y'all will see, if you don't already know, that they're not really fun to mess with. But yeah, this is just some super standard, but definitely well implemented and still imaginative, especially visual design wise. By the way, kudos to the art team. Always kudos to the art team. Forever game. Alien beastie, spoopy boy, etc. It looks like there's not too much primary to go through. There's always going to be more secondary than primary, though. Because primary is just like overall, like the most prominent points of the Mass Effect universe, and then Secondaries are all supplemental, but they fill in a lot of gaps between these.
There are between 2 and 400 billion stars in the galaxy, and less than 1% of them have ever been visited or had their systems properly surveyed. Humanity's early expansion into the Attican Traverse was haphazard, a desperate race to claim habitable planets where populations can be economically settled. Ignored in the wake of this land grab were thousands of less hospitable worlds, each potentially rich with industrial resources. The wealth of entire solar systems lies untapped, waiting for corporate survey teams or independent pioneers to discover and exploit them. However, this is not an easy task. In addition to the environmental hazards, the fact that uncharted worlds are largely ignored makes them popular bases for criminals, revolutionaries, cults, and others who wish to remain unnoticed by galactic society.
So, I think I need to listen to that again, or at least read through it a little bit more. I've kind of spaced on some of that. Welcome to ADHD, friends. Let's see. Whew. Actually, the more I read over this, I'm realizing I just don't really have anything to add here. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Just generally, on a science fiction level, it's kind of giving you a scope and scale of the kinds of worlds that are still out there in this universe, because, I mean, in real life, all we really know is the universe is a big place, and that there's a lot of other planets and stars and all sorts of things out there. And this is kind of just giving you an idea of, yeah, we have a big old galaxy here, but it's not even close there, boy. Anywho. Yeah, and also Uncharted Worlds being places for the seedier, types of gatherings that end up happening between sentient beings. Makes a lot of sense. And we do definitely get to see a good bit of those types of operations and shut them down, of course, throughout the course of Mass Effect, the trilogy, and also probably even Andromeda. Though Andromeda is a whole different can of worms. In fact, I kind of want to really get into the lore that they have there. I do find it interesting, and honestly, I have a feeling when I go through Andromeda. See, honestly, I started Andromeda, I enjoyed it, and then I was put off by all the negative feedback I heard. Which I find a little bit silly. I wasn't really disliking the game. I was actually quite enjoying it. But I definitely saw that there was writing quality that was perhaps, especially writing quality that was here, that wasn't really in Andromeda, but they had a lot working against them with Andromeda, unfortunately. Because there's definitely some really good, polished, wonderful elements of that game. But, I don't know. EA just basically seemed to put their fingers way too much in BioWare's pie for that one, or else it probably could have turned out at least as good as Mass Effect 3. 2 or 1 may be wishful thinking, and of course good is a relative and subjective term that I think I should try to move away from saying, but it's hard to kind of express that kind of sentiment in another way that isn't as judgmental or black and white, because I don't think that this kind of matter should be addressed in a black and white manner, but most of the time it seems to be. So that's why I really want to work on finding the words to move away from that kind of a thing. Alright, there doesn't seem to be too much more to read right now. This is going to be a shorty. Prothean's Cipher. The Prothean beacon downloaded its knowledge onto Lieutenant Commander Shepard. Lieutenant? Wait. She was only a lieutenant commander? Wait, what is a lieutenant commander? I swear that they only called her commander. I wonder if they just shortened her title. Not sure what Lieutenant Commander is supposed to mean, and I'm not too well versed in military jargon in real life. I don't know if that's based on that, or if they essentially made their own ranking system that includes some of the same names that the U.S. military and perhaps also other militaries in the world use. Yeah, I don't even know what kinds of ranking names are in other militaries. Anyway. Okay, so anyway. The Prothean Beacon downloaded its knowledge into Commander Shepard on Eden Prime, causing confusing dreams and visions. While the imagery is becoming clearer with time, the meaning of the beacon communication remains elusive. It has been suggested that Prothean data recording is highly dependent on a certain point of view, what Carl Jung described as collective unconscious. Interesting how they bring Carl Jung, a real-life, I do believe psychologist, in here. Definitely a real-life figure that is definitely very, well-known for his writings and insights into the human psyche. That's all I really know about him. The cipher needed to comprehend the images implanted in Shepard's mind is the cultural knowledge of a Prothean. The archetypes, biological instincts, and common experiences universal to the race. Since the Protheans have been dead for millennia, it may be impossible to acquire this cipher. Geth, hoppers. And by the way, we'll continue to kind of slowly piece together that with the help of Liara and the rest of the story, but I really feel like it, in the end, remains a little too ambiguous, though I'm also missing pieces of information. I also might just be misremembering things. Anyway. Alright, hoppers. I don't know if I've read on armatures already. I really don't remember if I've read on armatures already. I don't really remember doing so I'm gonna read this just to make sure. Armatures are quadruped, all-terrain, heavy weapons platforms akin to the armored fighting vehicles of other races. Geth being synthetic intelligences, armatures are not crude vehicles, but intelligent entities capable of independent decision-making and learning. Armatures are equipped with heavy kinetic barriers. Their main cannon, mounted on the articulated head turret, appears to be a highly efficient conventional mass accelerator. It is capable of firing in anti-personnel and anti-tank modes. Some armatures carry drones into battle, presumably for reconnaissance purposes. Others host a swarm of insect-sized repair microbots. Interesting. There should be a period there. I don't remember that piece of info because I never really sat down and read this like this. I'm glad I'm doing so finally. Hoppers. The Geth models, collectively dubbed Hoppers by Alliance forces, are electronic warfare platforms. They can project electromagnetic radiation across a broad spectrum as an offensive weapon. They can also perform cyber warfare attacks against the onboard computers of body armor, hard suits, and weapons, adversely affecting their performance. The structure of hoppers consists of an advanced and highly elastic artificial muscle material. This allows a hopper to compress its entire body for powerful leaps. Hoppers also have thousands of molecule-scale barbs on the surfaces of their hands and feet, which are used to cling to walls and ceilings. Hoppers are very difficult targets. Yeah, we did see. We did fight one alongside an armature. That's earlier, and I do think this is the first instance of armatures we have seen in the game, which is why I wasn't sure if I'd read that one or if it, or if it had unhighlighted because I'd already, because when I dropped down the drop-down menu, it had been highlighted, and then I went to hoppers. Anywho, hoppers are very difficult targets, leaping from one surface to another in rapid succession. The Quarians have no record of any Geth models similar to hoppers. This new morphotype must have been developed over the last 300 years by the Geth themselves. This is troubling proof that the Geth are continuing to move towards technological singularity. Technological singularity, that's an interesting way of wording that. I think what that means is just continuing to evolve. And I was wondering if, I was wondering while I was reading this earlier, the thought had popped in my head. Hey, wait a minute, why would Corian make a Geth model that has these kind of functions? They were built for manual labor, not war. So unless she, but yeah, I was wondering why these kind of functions would be needed, but yeah, it looks like the Geth have just modified themselves or been able to build new models for these kinds of purposes. It's very interesting. Experts in synthetic life are intrigued that hoppers appear to be even more organic than the baseline Geth. Wait, so how are the Geth organic? I'm wondering what that means. The identified... I'm wondering if that just means the sheer level of autonomy they have. I don't know. The identified subtypes of hopper have been nicknamed Sapper, Stalker, and Ghost. Interesting. So, yay, that's all for the Codex for now, friendos. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace out, friendos.